Hello, I'm Russel Lolacher, the host of Relationships at Work. I'm blowing dust off of an old episode as I take a bit of a breather, a bit of a break from the show to come back stronger, more powerful. If you're curious as to why, listen to the last mini episode I did released on Friday. But this is from an episode I did in July of 2023. It was a problem that I was noticing from conversations I was having with people, and a lot of the research too, is that it was really showing leadership, and I mean positional leadership, not necessarily true leadership, and their understanding of some of the issues versus how the employees were understanding the issues. The gap was horrendous between what the leaders believed and what the employees knew. And I dive into that in this solo episode. So thanks for returning to the raw library, and over to me, I guess, as I dig into it. Hold on. Hello, I'm Russel Lolacher, and this is Relationships at Work, the emerging leader's guide to creating a workplace we love. As you may know, I'm a communications nerd. I am a leadership nerd. Spent a lot of time gaining quite a bit of experience in both those areas for a couple of decades. But what I really enjoy, on top of the leadership, on top of the communications, is curiosity, because that has been the engine for this show. Every week, we talk to local and global leaders, and it's like going to school for me and for you to learning a little bit better about what we can do to create a workplace that we want to go to improve the employee experience. And this show is such a great resource for things like that. We've tackled some amazing topics on this show: negativity, burnout, imposter syndrome, diversity, plain language. This is an absolute amazing resource for those that are trying to provide a bit more influence on their organization as they're emerging as leaders and wanting to create a culture that they know that can do better for productivity, for the health of the organization. And they've seen how bad it can be. This show will put it in a better direction. And now, as an added bonus, I'm sharing mini episodes. These are episodes that I drop every Thursday that are pulled right from the pages of our weekly Raw Note, which you can still subscribe to, but they're a little bit more bite-sized, quick, valuable info on top of the regular show. So, let's get to it. The Raw Note I'm passing on to you this week is called, "Yeah, but how do you know?" Opinions, they come fast and furious in the workplace about the state of the workplace, the reasons for successes, for failures all around the employee experience. Excuses, disbeliefs, suggestions, double downs. Many of us as leaders are quick to come up with reasons for this, that, and the other. But how do we know what we believe is reality? How do we know what we think is true? Because there are continued examples of a growing divide between what leaders think and what employees know. And none more evident than a lot of the surveys that came out of the recent pandemic. A 2022 Deloitte survey done of executive and employees around the perception of leadership during the pandemic. Well, 88% of executives think they made a great, amazing, excellent leadership decisions during COVID. 53% of those workers agreed with that statement. Okay, how about SHRM, Society of Human Resources Management? Well, they found 72% of executives report that their overall organizational culture had improved since the beginning of the pandemic. And then they went to HR. 21% of their human resources employees agreed with that statement. 14% of the rest of the employees agreed. Oh, that's painful. Okay, how about one that's not so specific to the pandemic, but still problematic? Forrester. They did a survey too. 85% of employers believe that they actively listen to the needs of their workers. Their employees? 51%. It gets even worse. 49% of employees actually noted a fear of repercussions for being open about their mental health at work. Ouch. These are some pretty big divides. And yet we still hear leaders disputing surveys saying, but that's not what I hear, when the evidence demonstrates right there in front of their face that what we as leaders are hearing isn't necessarily the truth. because we might only be listening to what we want to hear, or that our network at the organization is very, very limited. So to be good leaders, to build connection at work, we have to be okay knowing we don't have all the information and not disputing it because it makes us uncomfortable or indicates we might have some work to do. Issues can only be addressed if we admit they're issues, that we can find those opportunities and work for those successes, or at least learn something from them. So what do we do? Well, I'd recommend first regular employee surveys. Not once a year, regular surveys. I'm talking weekly, monthly, pulse surveys, 1 or 2 questions. They don't have to be long. Do it to gather feedback and insights on the state of employee engagement at work as it is right now. Because if you don't do it regularly, it's just a snapshot in time, and then you have all the excuses in the world, whether it's good, whether it's bad. It doesn't provide a theme. It doesn't show trends. Now, these quick surveys, they can include questions related to motivation, maybe job satisfaction, teamwork, overall culture impressions. And then what we have to do is then listen to those results and see what we can do about it. The next thing I would mention is an open and transparent communication model. Foster that kind of environment so employees feel comfortable expressing their thoughts and concerns as they feel them. Regular team meetings, one-on-one sessions, town hall style gatherings, they all provide opportunities for employees to share their experiences and voice any challenges they may be facing. And don't dismiss them because you don't agree with them. Actively listening can provide warnings of issues to come. And lastly, employee feedback and suggestions. As leaders, we need to actively seek feedback and suggestions from employees on how to improve engagement at work. This can be done through suggestion boxes, anonymous feedback channels if people are still not comfortable expressing them with their name attached to it, or dedicated brainstorming sessions. It's amazing what comes out of a room where people can just no wrong answer it and just throw spaghetti at a wall. By involving employees in the decision-making process and valuing their ideas, leaders can gain pretty valuable insights into factors that contribute to engagement or disengagement. This also creates a sense of ownership, and it really allows for a positive work environment if people feel heard. Leadership can't come from isolation and thinking that you know better. It comes from knowing the true state of the organization that we work in, and then we have to adapt and adjust for the needs of our teams. And we can't do that if we choose to look the other way. Because if you look the other way, you'll never see it coming. And that's a wrap on a raw note episode of Relationships at Work, the Emerging Leader's Guide to Creating a Workplace We Love. I'm Russel Lolacher. Thanks so much for joining me. Always enjoy sharing my thoughts and your feedback about how you're enjoying the podcast. So thank you so much for that. If you'd like to share suggestions, ideas, anything you'd like to share with me, please do. hello@russellolacher.com is my email address. That's hello@russell, 1L, and Lolacher, LOLACHER.com. I look forward to hearing from you because that, as much as curiosity, is the fuel for the show. You take care.